is going on, guys? It is Crisis Diamago here, coming at you live and in person. And in this video, we're going to be talking about something a little bit more serious. Something that's not even really video game related. I mean, it kind of can be in a way, but it's definitely something that is not necessarily seen as video game related in all instances. And we're going to be talking about gun violence and gun control, and whether or not the ability to easily get firearms is the main cause for all the violence that happens due to guns. So it's going to be a little bit longer of a video again. It's going to be another rant video. I got more positive videos coming here later on, but I saw something today. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It's going to be up probably on Wednesday for you guys. That just, it really kind of irritated me a little bit. So I figured I need to make a video about this. I did a video a while back, and I'm pretty sure it has like 3 views, on whether or not violent video games create violent kids, and the studies that show that that's not true, and all of, you know, all of that. But today I'm going to be talking about gun violence and gun control, and this is something that hits very near and dear to my heart. Living in rural Pennsylvania, I own firearms, I hunt, I go target shooting, and I believe it was Jim Jeffries who said the reason that Americans have guns is because they like guns, and that's true. I like guns. You know, I play paintball and airsoft, and like I said, I go target shooting with military friends and my brother, and just all types of different people. And some of the best memories I have were just tinkering around a 22 when I was little in the backyard. You know, that's just some of my best memories, just, you know, tinkering around the 22, shooting in my deer rifle and all that stuff. So the thing that I saw today was a comment made. It was on the HLN Facebook page, which I need to unlike that shit because their page is just nonsense anymore. But it was Amy Schumer talking about how the shooting that happened in Louisiana affected her personally, and about how now she's an advocate for gun violence. And I've been in Facebook arguments all day with people about this, but if you're truly an advocate for something, if you're truly against one thing or another, it shouldn't have to hit you personally, if you guys can see my air quotes there, before you take a stand on it. My cousin's a police officer. I don't have to wait for him to murder somebody in the street who's unarmed and not resisting before police violence aggravates me. I don't have to wait for somebody in my family to get drunk, get into a car, smash into another person's car, kill that person before drunk driving angers me. I don't have to wait for something to become personal, again in air quotes, before it affects me, before it's something that I want to stand up against and something that I want to speak my mind on. I don't have to wait for that. So for Amy Schumer to be like, this is personal for me, no, it's not, Amy. No, it's not. Just stop. If it was personal for you, you would have stepped up after Sandy Hook. You would have stepped up after Aurora. You would have stepped up after the shooting that happened at the barracks, or the sign-up center for the military. All the bases that have been shot up. You know, where were you at Virginia Tech, Amy? Where were you when all that stuff was happening? You weren't there. At least not that I saw, at least not in the public eye. So you can't say this is personal to you. I mean, you could say yes because it happened at a theater, happened in the theater that was showing your movie in the actual room. Okay, yeah, sure. And apparently there are reports that this person did this because he didn't like Amy Schumer. Okay, fine, whatever. The bigger problem, instead of gun control, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on here, is the mental health issue. And mainly in today's youth. The big problem is kids today are fucking mean. I mean, if you go to like some type of high school sporting event a few years ago when my brother was playing high school football, he was a quarterback, he used to go to the games to support him. I've been out of high school for a few years at that point. The language on these kids, now I swear a lot. I swear a lot, and I can't say that you know it's wrong of me to do, but or wrong for me to say this, but these kids, man, 10 and 12-year-old kids saying "fuck you, motherfucker, suck my cock," dropping the N-word left and right, just like it's nothing. Being mean to kids and picking on. When I was in school, I was picked on because I always say it's one thing to be the short kid, it's one thing to be the fat kid. I was the short and the fat kid in high school, so I got both of it. Plus, I was an art kid. Plus, I was in the band. I did play drums, so it was a little bit cooler, but I was still in the band, so I had all that stuff working against me. I got picked on hard when I was in high school. I never shot up a school. It's just, it's the kids who have to deal with this stuff. The mental abuse, day in and day out. Nobody cares. Nobody ever just wants to talk to these kids. Nobody wants to say, hey, what's going on in your life? And if somebody does ask them, they probably feel like you don't really care, and that's why they don't express it to you, or they do express it to you, and then they get the feeling that you don't give two shits about them. The mental health issue is way more of the issue than the gun laws and the gun control, because if you look at the most recent ones, they've been younger individuals who have done these crimes. Look at the Boston bombing that happened, what was it, a year or two ago? And that was a young kid. He was like 19. You know what I mean? It's not 60-year-old men who are going postal in a movie theater with an AR-15. It's kids. It's people my age that are doing this. I'm 25. So this is something that does hit a little bit more home for me, because I was that kid who was picked on. I was that kid who was made fun of. And looking back at it, and looking back, if I didn't have the support group that I had, if I didn't seek exterior counseling from the school, which it's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, because counselors and teachers don't get paid what they deserve. If I hadn't sought that when I was a kid, after dealing with my mom's accident and the depression and everything I'd gone through, I could have been one of those kids. I could have been one of those. I really, really could have been one of those kids had I not gotten all of my mental anguish taken care of. So, what's really the bigger story here, America? Is it gun violence and gun control? Or is it the mental health of our youth that is going unnoticed and uncared for and unchecked? People want to talk about addiction. Addiction is a mental disease. It's something mental. You know, and everybody's saying, oh, you're just a drug addict. No, they have a mental thing in their head going on. Same with these kids who shoot up schools or movie theaters or malls or whatever. It's a mental thing. There's something in their head that's not quite clicking correctly. And that's the issue. Yes, you can say we need tougher mental checks on guns before you buy them. I 110% agree with that. People might say, but Crisis, you're all for guns. You're all for limitless guns. And no, I'm not. I'm not all for limitless guns. I mean, I don't believe you need a fully automatic AK walking down the street. I don't believe that you need that. I also believe that if you've committed a violent crime in your history, you shouldn't be allowed to have a gun, because you have a history of violence. If you have a history of mental health issues, if you have a history of anxiety or whatever, you should have to take a mental test. And if you can pass it, if you can pass that test and you're deemed that you're mentally stable enough to own a firearm, then that's when you should be able to own said firearm. I would take the test because I know I could pass it. And these people who are saying, well, fuck that, I don't need no test to tell me I can own a gun. Those are most often the people who shouldn't be having guns to begin with. Trust me, I'm not a firm believer that every single person in America should have a gun. Because there are people out there who struggle with these mental health issues. There are people out there who are mentally unstable, who should not have these tools of destruction, as Fox News wants to call them. I'll be frank and upfront with you. I own an AR-15. It's a Bushmaster 223, but I run 5.56 caliber rounds in it. It has a really nice scope on it, a nice foregrip, tactical flashlight, laser sight. It's really, really nice. And I really, really put a lot more money into it than I probably should have. But I own it. It's mine. It's something that I bought. It's something that I don't walk around the street with. It's something I go target shooting with, or, you know, go have fun with my friends with, and, you know, just shoot some targets or whatever. I do have a handgun for personal defense. You know, it's a concealed carry permit, because the average response time of a police call is about 4.7 minutes. The average response time of a 357 is about 900 feet per second. Take your pick. You know what I mean? It's not saying I own a 357, but it's a quote I once heard, and I always thought that was pretty like, it really stuck with me. So, like I said, the gun control thing is something that really bothers me. I mean, yeah, I guess putting a mental health test on it would be creating stricter gun laws. But it's something that does need to be done. And like I said, I will agree with that 110%. But the main problem is, like I said before, the mental health of today's youth, especially in America. I can't speak for other countries. I truly cannot speak for other countries. But here in America, at least even in my small town that I live in, I can see it. I can see the kids just being little dicks to the other kids. And it's like, why are you being a dick? Knock it off. Just stop being a dick. It's not that hard. But that comes down to parenting and everything else. And that's, again, a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But, again, the mental health issue, and I can't stress this enough, is way more of a problem than the gun control issue. I mean, look at this video that I have in the background here. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5, shooting up cops, robbing liquor stores, smashing through cars. I don't do that in real life. I can do it in a video game because I can separate video game from reality. I can do that. I have the mental capacity to be able to separate, oh, if I go into a liquor store with a gun and shoot this guy in the face in real life, I'm probably gonna go to prison. You know, if I just go on a rampage with a giant SUV, probably gonna go to prison. If I murder a bunch of cops, most definitely gonna go to prison, if I even make it out of that whole scenario alive. So, I can take that away from it. And like I said, I own guns. I've never once thought, today I think I'm gonna go rob a liquor store and shoot up a high school. Never once have I thought that, because you know why? There are consequences for real-life actions, and I can comprehend that. These people who have these mental disorders, and they don't have the mental fortitude to realize that this is wrong, I shouldn't be doing this. Or maybe they do, and they just have so many demons inside of them saying, fuck it, who cares, just do it anyway. These kids laughed at you, these kids made fun of you, these kids called you fat, ugly, a whore, a skank, a slut, a bitch, or whatever they called you. Just kill them. Get it over with. And that's the issue. That is the issue. Not gun control, not stricter gun laws, not anything like that. And also the fact that these parents are just leaving their fucking guns lay around. That's a big issue too. My guns are locked up. I have my AR isn't even at my house. It's at somebody's house. One of my relatives. I can't remember which one. One of the ones with a gun safe. Because like I said, the AR isn't for personal use, but I have my handgun that I have locked up. It's loaded. It's ready to go. Everybody says, well, it's locked up. You can't use it. My bedroom's upstairs. I'm going to hear somebody breaking into my house. I'm going to be able to, it's a thumbprint scanner, so I can just and get it unlocked. It's loaded. It's ready to go at any given time. So, yeah, that's how that goes. You guys get to, you know, learn a little bit of insight on my personal home security here. Good thing I don't let people know where I live. But anyway, like I said, the gun control thing, I always say this. You people who are for gun control, you want to know who else was for gun control? Hitler. Disarmed the citizens so that they can't stand against me. Hitler was for gun control. I'm not saying that people who are for gun control are Hitler, but you have similar ideas. Disarm the citizens. I've talked to several police officers who have said that the people who are armed legally actually make them feel better. Because, and my cousin who's a cop has said the same thing. I'm more comfortable knowing that there are people who are legally armed out there than the people who are illegally armed out there. Because I know there are people out there who are illegally armed, but I also know that there are people out there who are legally armed, who are not going on murderous rampages, and who would use it for the right thing. And that makes him feel safer when he's out on the streets, because he knows that if something happens, there could be a citizen out there who is armed legally, who could aid in a situation if needed. So, stricter gun laws in the sense that should there be a mental health test? Absolutely. Should they be taking away all of our guns? Absolutely not. It's a Constitution, Second Amendment right. We have the right to protect our land, our family, ourselves, our properties, our valuables. We have the right to protect that, and that is definitely not something that should be infringed upon. It's in the Constitution. Stop trying to take it away from us. The government's already taken free speech. The government has already taken free speech from us. Let that sink in, America. We don't have free speech anymore because we got to worry about offending people whenever we talk. I'm sure this video has probably offended 300, 400,000 people already. and it hasn't even been uploaded. But you know what? I don't care. Because the second you start infringing on one right, you start infringing on all of my rights. So, that's my video for today. I'm sorry that it's long. I'm sorry it's a rant. I'm sorry I put up 2 rant videos back to back. But it's just something that needed to be said, and something I needed to get my opinion out about. Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you guys own firearms? Do you go hunting? Do you use them for sport? What do you think about gun control? Do you think that the bigger issue is mental health, or do you think the bigger issue is it's too easy to get guns? Let me know down there in the comment section below. Let's get this heated up. Let's get the comment section riled up. Share this with all your friends. Let them share their opinions as well, because I'm sure there's gonna be some haters in there who tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about and that guns are pointless and, you know, whatever. But hey, I look at it like this. It's your right to not own a gun, but it's also my right to own one. So make sure you guys check out all of my social media links down there in the description box below. You guys can go follow me there, see all of my crazy shenanigans that I do and get into, and you guys can see me fight on Twitter with people about guns and whatever. So should be fun. But also, guys, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And of course, until next time, guys, I'm Crisis the Imago, and I'll see ya when I see ya.